So let's take a look at the AP rankings through week 6 of college football. And as it stands right now, the Ohio State Buckeyes, the defending national champions, number 1 team in the country, they go to Seattle. They handle business. They win that game by double digits. It felt like the game plan for Ryan Day was just protect Julian Sain. And that's enough. At some point, they're going to have to rely on Julian Sain to win a football game. He's not there yet. But the way their schedule sets up, I don't blame them for playing the way that they played. Oregon. We'll talk about the Penn State game a little bit later. Here's the thing with the two teams that are at the top of college football. Ohio State number 1, Oregon number 2. That's the way they're ranked right now. These two teams, just in terms of how they're built, not only in the short term, but how they're built year over year, how they are built in terms of investment into the roster, these are the two best programs in the country, not only in terms of what has showed up on the field through 5 weeks. There are no two better run programs in the country than what Ryan Day has in Columbus and then what Dan Lanning has in Eugene. All those things that I said were messed up with UCLA, Virginia Tech, Oklahoma State. If you were to look at the model for how to run a program, it would be in Columbus and it would be in Eugene. From alignment, financially, from talent acquisition to where we're going to spend our money, to recruiting, geographical footprint, to what makes sense, to not wasting time, to identifying and understanding who's next in the hopper once a Chip Kelly leaves, once a Jim Knowles leaves. Once guys are gone, what's next? These guys execute at such a high level for 365 days a year. And then their teams just emulate them on Saturday. Ryan Day is a pretty steady guy. We've seen him be animated for sure. But his team, that's just kind of how they play. Dan Lanning, I don't know if you saw his post-game press conferences against Oregon. If you want to know what type of guy he is, just watch that. His team's got that itch too. They emulate him. So if you want to look for the blueprint of operating in rarefied air to compete for national championships every year, which is more and more difficult in college football, look at Ohio State and Oregon. 2, not Alabama, not Georgia, not Clemson, not Miami. Not taking anything away from those guys. What I'm telling you is these two schools, what they have shown are on a different tier than everybody else, including anybody in the SEC. So that's what I've seen thus far. Now the parity part, and it really comes into play with what we saw on Friday versus Florida State in Virginia. Florida State beats Alabama at home by 14. They have their first road game against an upstart UVA team. They can't get out of their way. They look like the more talented team. They lose on the road. And the immediate reaction is, well, Florida State's not who we thought they were. Penn State, whiteout. You got Oregon coming all the way across the country, lose at home at overtime. Game they should have won. LSU, top 5 team, one of the most talented rosters in the country, on the road. Get completely outclassed and somehow have a shot to potentially even win that game in the fourth quarter. Georgia, Kirby Smart, the standard of college football. Alabama lost by 14 in Tallahassee. They looked dead in the water. 4 weeks later, they go into Athens at night and without a doubt look like the better team. So if you're a fan of a team that lost this weekend and you're thinking to yourself, man, our guys are just not what we thought they were. Heed the words from Kirby Smart and Brian Kelly post-game. Like, this is just life in the new age of college football. And they're right. Now, it's not an excuse for maybe how their team played in situational football, but this is life. This is life in college football. You are better to take and learn from being a fan of an NFL team and just like, hey, I'm more about focused to getting to 9 or 10 wins at the end of the season, being healthy, and playing my best football at the end of the year. That's it. That's it. That's the name of the game. Not we lost to Ole Miss or we lost to Alabama. We're not who we thought we were. No, you paid these guys in terms of coaching now to get the most out of your roster. Alabama, one of the most talented teams in their country, they pay Kalen DeBoer for what Alabama did on Saturday in Athens. And people are going to say, why can't they do that every week? It's part of the job. Adversity hits. How do you bounce back? We don't, like, outside of Ohio State, Oregon, maybe Miami, it's going to be really, really tough to run the table and go undefeated in the playoffs. Even if you do, what does it matter? You're still going to have to play the best teams. So that's what it's about. It's about growth. It's about getting better week to week. It's about managing your team, keeping them right psychologically, keeping them right physically, keeping them engaged, understanding what they have to play for week to week. One game does not do you in anymore. And if you look at the SEC, I don't know if there's going to be one team in the SEC that will have one loss or less. I mean, like, we're going to be back here in a few weeks. Ole Miss got to go on the road to Georgia, in Oklahoma. These are matchup games. Alabama, same deal. They got to go on the road at Mizzou. I mean, Tennessee and Missouri realistically have the best opportunity to come out with less than 2 losses out of the SEC. The SEC, you just got to understand, you were signed up for 12 rounds. And you're bruised, and you're battered, and you got to be tactful. And at the end of the day, you're just trying to give yourself a chance on Sunday to make a move. If you're a golfer and you understand that analogy. Hey, I'm 3 shots behind. Great. I got a shot. Put me in the arena. That's the new, like, you have to change your thinking if you're a fan of college football. Penn State's a good team. Dan Lanning said it last night. We're going to have to see those guys again. LSU, who is not yet even close to playing the level of football that they're capable of, lost that game by 5 points, and in every major statistical category got their ass kicked and was in it. Those are the teams that should scare you, because those are the teams that have an opportunity to continue to figure it out. Georgia Tech, good team, good coach. Jake Dickert, first year, Winston-Salem, Wake Forest. I mean, overtime. They have to survive. That's it, man. Winning ugly and winning on the road, getting it done is the name of the game. So, if you have a emotional overreaction to your team losing, understand that there's credibility in feeling the way that you feel about maybe some of the vulnerabilities of your team, the things that need to get fixed, the things that are going to continue to come up. But also understand this is a wholesome game. And it's like, let's just get back to base. Throw some water on the face, dust ourselves off, collect ourselves, and let's see what we got. That's the game. And after sleeping on it, that's what I would say. That would be my best advice to any fan out there that's maybe a little bit panicked, even if you're a Notre Dame fan. I mean, how do you feel about those guys right now? Yeah, defense got to get better, but talented team, they could run the table. Nobody's out of it. And SEC is going to be a gauntlet. Oklahoma, A&M, Texas, Alabama, Georgia, LSU. I expect all those teams to have 2 losses, more than 2 losses at the end of the year. And that's the way it's going to go. All right, guys, just a reminder, you're locked in to Coop's Corner. You can find us every Monday on the Cooper Petagna YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoopsPetag. Socials, X, Instagram, TikTok, at Cooper Petagna. I said it, guys, we're at 80 subscribers. We have 9 ratings reviews on the podcast. And it really has been awesome. Friends, family, people I don't even know, just reaching out, saying how much they enjoy the podcast. And if you do, let me just ask you a favor. If you're listening to this right now, you've made it through 30 minutes of me just rambling. Do me a favor. It's not that hard. Go to Apple, go to Spotify, leave a rating and review. If you're watching it on YouTube, smash the like button, smash subscribe. We're going to continue to bring content. Here's the other thing. Transfer portal, NFL draft, that's the wheelhouse, man. Me covering college football, cranking out content, just give you big picture thoughts right now. That's a oversaturated market. So if you're sitting with me listening to what I have to say, I appreciate it. All right, because there's a lot of other good resources that you can find to get opinions on college football week to week. The other thing I just wanted to make a comment on really quickly is the quarterback play. And speaking of the NFL draft, if you're one of these teams that needs a quarterback and is going to be picking at the top of the draft, that could be Cleveland, that could be the New Orleans Saints. You had to go into this year feeling pretty good. Lenoris Sellers, Garrett Nussmeier, Arch Manning, Drew Aller, Cade Klubnik. And through 5 weeks of the college football season, you're probably sitting there scratching your head and saying, ooh. Like, which one of those guys am I taking and I'm feeling good about? Evaluating quarterbacks in today's college football setting has never been easier in terms of the resources that we have dedicated, and it's never been more difficult just based on what we've seen in the ever-changing landscape of college football. Been tough. DJ Lagway studied for 3 years, loved him, loved the way that he's wired, believe in him. This year has been tough. Missed spring, missed a little bit of the fall. It's like how much of it is the injury, how much of it is him pressing because he knows that his coach's job on the line and he knows he's the guy. Garrett Nussmeier, how much of it is, this is my last year in Baton Rouge. I know the expectations. I want to win a national championship here. How much of it is that? How much of it is the injury? Drew Aller we'll talk about. Lenoris Sellers continuing to develop. But this quarterback class, and I get it, there's names like Mendoza and Dante Moore that are emerging. you see what's happened in the NFL. I mean, you see guys like Sam Darnold, you see guys like Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is almost out of the league. I don't know. I don't have answers for it. Some of it's situational. Some of it is these guys maybe playing a tad earlier than expected, but they're trying to the pressure of meeting the timeline of on-field success, not only individually, but of the program of where you're at, compromises the organic, natural development of the position. And everybody wants to play early. I understand it, but not everybody's ready. And this is a really, really fragile position. So that's something that I have my eyes on, and it's like I don't have an answer yet. Um, just watching these guys and seeing the lack of development, the lack of consistency, the lack of confidence, and the expectations both internally, externally, financially. It's a new day and age of college football where it's like, man, you want to talk about putting more value into like the neck up and Lagway and Manning and Aller and Klubnik and Sellers. They're all wired the right way. It's a lot to ask on the shoulders of a 20-year-old quarterback. So I'm fascinated to see what this is going to look like over the next couple years.